Howdy, Austin. My name is Emanuel Alejandro Delgadillo. Everybody knows me as Manny Fresh. Welcome to my podcast, Manny Sales Soiree. All right, well, introduction here. Good friend, John Kraft. Met him through Network Under 40.
Yeah.
Made a lot of good contacts. I still keep in touch with a couple.
Absolutely.
Brandon's a good one.
Yeah.
He's actually going to be in the podcast as
That's
well.
awesome.
Luke, he even tried to recruit me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm helping, what's his name? Michael Cavazos for to help him find him a new career.
That's awesome.
So yeah, good
cool.
stuff. So yeah. So anyway, for the audience that doesn't know, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is John Kraft. I specialize in entrepreneurship, like entrepreneurship within a company. Have been a business partner at I am a business partner at a top 10 RTD company. Have been in the past a tour manager, drove the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile around the country, been a tour manager for Cartoon Network as well, and just a lover of life.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tell me a little bit more about the Oscar Mayer Wiener, because that's pretty
I mean,
stuff.
World's oldest mobile marketing vehicle, 30-foot long hot dog on wheels, and over 5,000 college graduates apply every year, and they hire 12 of us around the country to hot dog around the hot dog highways. And awesome. Just a great time. You do a lot of brand promotion, brand awareness, a lot of interviews, like Weatherman, for example. Sometimes you get to go on TV, and it's a really fun program, I would tell, for a lot of college graduates who want to have a zest for life. For 1 year, it's an amazing time.
Nice. And then tell me a little bit more about Patco Brands.
Yeah, so my current position, I'm a national marketing director at Patco. We're a top 10 supplier of alcohol. We actually import about 40% of the añejo into America. Large private label business. And we also have a lot of fun brands that a lot of people recognize. Rancho La Gloria, top 5 bottled margarita in America, which actually started out in HEB. We also have another fun new brand called Big Sips, top 5 convenience store RTD. And we also have a top 15 flavored whiskey called Doughball.
Oh, yeah,
Tastes like
I had
cookies.
That one.
You've had some Doughball before. We've had some Doughball together.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about the Big Sips, because now I remember. It's like a little ball, right?
Yeah. The little Big Sips come in a cup and come in a lot of really cool flavors. Pina colada, strawberry margarita, really big with convenience store clientele like 7-Eleven. And it's been really awesome, really fun. We even have a celebrity flavor, purple punch with Waka Flocka. So
nice.
really making waves out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And then is this the one that went viral on TikTok? Or
it did.
Okay.
So it's been going viral on TikTok. A lot of the younger influencers are really getting behind it because it's basically 3 shots in a can. So a lot of fun times on that. Very portable. Sponsor a lot of music festivals, and it's doing really well with the Instagram and the virality, because it's so easy to enjoy. You just pop open the tab and drink.
Is it as dangerous as Four Locos?
I
never had a Four Loko.
It could be more dangerously delicious.
Okay.
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So tell me a little bit. How long have you been in Austin?
Now about 5 years. And I was living, basically after college, lived 2 or 3 years out of a suitcase. Then I lived in New York, Lower East Side, Manhattan, Avenue C,
nice.
A lot of fun. I then lived in Atlanta, and then finally ended up here in Austin, and it's been beautiful. I love
Only
Austin.
5 years in Austin?
Only 5 years in Austin.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been here since 2016. So COVID throws me off because I thought we met
COVID were the lost years, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it was like a year and a half, 2-year blur.
Yeah.
Where all the days kind of melded into each other.
Yeah. So I thought I met you pre-COVID, but no, it was after
No,
then.
it was. It must have been, we're in 2024, which is hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
I believe it was 2022.
Which is almost over.
Because I moved here in 2018, roughly, I think.
Oh, okay.
2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's...
2024 is almost over. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy, yeah.
2025.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, so what's your role, you said?
So I'm a national director. I specialize in field sales and field marketing.
Okay.
And launches, strategies, and things like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then you have a group under you.
I do. Okay. I have I have 10 young salespeople working for me. I've had 4 graduate out of the program and go full time. Awesome. And then I also have a coordinator as well that helps me with everything in general. So about 15 people overall.
Awesome. Tell me how that transition was from, being at your role and, almost doing strictly sales now
Yeah.
into a leadership position.
It's been super interesting. I always tell people the bottom line is, are we making money on this project? Or are we just having fun? I think that's a big part of marketing that we sometimes forget about, is that there's obviously a lot of marketing that goes into brand awareness, which is great once you have distribution, right? But sometimes you have to remember is sometimes we need conversion as well. And that's something I specialize in, is projects that show conversion. We're really creating new verticals, I tell people, on the funnel. The marketing funnel, and how are we going to create more verticals of income out of that marketing funnel.
Gotcha. So what is your, I guess, is it a typical event, or is it an event, or you have a typical customer? Or
Right now, I've really been leaning into music festivals around the country, especially with the young Latino demographic. So we sponsored Mitchie Fest in Chicago with Cali Uchez and Junior H. That was a really large one. But we've also gone the opposite demographic. I've sponsored Mile High 420 Music Festival with Gucci Man in Denver, a different demographic. And then even gone and sponsored an EDM festival in San Diego called Wonderfront, right? So it's all about finding the right customer set. And the reason I like festivals is because you can activate and sample and interact with people, but you can also sell alcohol there as well.
Yeah.
So you're really hitting a lot of fronts that I really like.
Yeah. Have you guys been in ACL? Yeah.
ACL is quite the white whale to land as a sponsorship, so not yet. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, and then the company's based out of
San Francisco.
California.
Yeah, family-owned operation.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then what got you into this role, I guess?
Originally, no one. When the joke is, no one wakes up as a kid and says, "I want to sell alcohol for a living," right? It's kind of something you fall into. But after I was in field marketing, field management, tour management. I really wanted to start my own company or get into a business where I was a partner in a company, and I connected with some guys who were starting a company called Long Drink, which is now a top 10 RTD, and started talking with them. And then, after talking with them for about a week, 2 weeks later, I moved up to New York. When I was 25, when we started a company called Long Drink, and spent 4 years growing their business with them, really focused on growing a brand that American consumers had never heard of, because it came from Finland, and then exited as a partner.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we are in the right city. It's a party town.
Absolutely.
So, what made you land into Austin?
I had always wanted to live in Austin. From living in New York to Atlanta, I'd heard so many awesome things about Austin, and the culture here is super vibrant. I love Tex-Mex. I love outdoor activities. I love live music. It just has a lot to offer for people. And I just heard a lot of young people were moving here, right? Yeah. And it just seemed like a really great place to meet new people like you, Manny. I met my fiance here. And she moved from San Diego here to meet somebody as well. So I think it's just a big city, a bit like New York, where you're gonna make it or break it. And if you break it, you go back home. Yeah. And if you make it, you live here.
Yeah,
like us, right?
Yeah, very good, very good town. So let's get back into sales. So tell me a little bit of maybe your leadership, or I think the best way to coach anybody is from kind of like our mistakes. So
absolutely.
What's a big mistake that you made that you learned from it? And
I tell people I try to lead from the leader, not from the boardroom, but from the war room, right? And I really stress to them that I've done these jobs before as well, and I lean on those mistakes from that. One of the mistakes I made when I was younger was getting frustrated. Was getting frustrated, and that frustration shows. And in sales, a lot of young people, myself when we were younger, we don't acknowledge someone's no. And we try to bull through the sales pitch, and it's unhealthy. It's not productive, and then you start becoming frustrated, and the sale ends because you're asking too many yes or no questions. Because young people want to get to the no. A seasoned salesperson is going to ask open-ended questions to get to the yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's good. One of the things that you touch is the personality or your mindset, to stay positive. So how do you personally, stay positive?
Really it's about waking up with that positivity and wealth mindset of I believe that if you work hard and create a plan, work the plan, you're going to create a lot of your own luck. And a lot of that goes into where is your happy place, what's an away movement and what's a towards movement. I want to do towards movements, because my bottom line is I'm looking for success and happiness at home and at work. And a lot of people bring home work, back home, and that's something you really got to avoid.
Yeah.
And if you have a good home life, you'll have a better work life as well.
Awesome. And then, so kind of attaching it to positivity, like what do you hate and love about?
What do I hate? I have found as I get older, I dislike naysayers who don't have a plan. I believe in a critical conversation. I call it a come to Jesus. If something's not working, we got to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But then it can't just stop at saying it's not working or this is a negative. We have to brainstorm and come up with a solution. And I find most people want to come up with a perfect solution. There are no perfect solutions unless you're a NASA, engineer, maybe a lawyer, or a doctor. You have to come up with perfect solutions then.
Yeah.
But in sales, sometimes coming up with a solution that's going to be 80%, success rate is probably the best choice you have to continue to move forward.
Okay.
That's what it's about. Sales is about moving forward. How are we going to move forward on this deal?
Good. And what are some good tips that you give this, young salesperson that you have under?
I tell them to acknowledge the no, and move forward in the conversation. Always have extra ammo. Don't bring in the whole sink with you. When you bring in something, bring in bits and pieces. And two, the thing I really stress is being positive and really realizing your personal sales style technique. Are you selling personality? Are you selling product qualities? One young person that on my team, he came in with a stutter, and I said, "You have a stutter. It's getting in the way of your sales pitch because you're talking too long." So what we're going to do is we're going to shorten your sales pitch, and we're going to practice an old school sales technique, which I call the stare down.
Yeah.
You're going to pitch them, ask for their business, and then shut up.
Okay.
Stare at them.
Yeah.
The first person to break the silence loses. And they're going to buy the product from you because they broke the silence, right? Yeah. And then finally, the last thing I tell people is don't lie to people. You really want to be the most honest salesperson you can be. Manage their expectations. And if you can't do it, say no. It's okay to say no. I celebrate you saying no. But if you say yes, I want you to be honest about your yes, and I want you to manage the expectations of that yes that you're performing.
That's awesome. Part of it, I guess, this podcast, what the idea started at all was to get like-minded people, sales, entrepreneurship, but I guess the key things that I'm bringing is not because I know you, also is because, I see the genuine in people. I met a girl that is a realtor for barely 2 years, and I know a lot of realtors here in Austin, but some of them can be a little pompous, and, play this game or at least show you this game when it's not really like that. And one of the things that I loved about her and I wanted to interview her is because it was the genuine aspect on it. She's big on education and wanted to educate the customer, even if it talks her out of a sale, because that's probably not a sale that you need to make. So, you're kind of hitting the heart right there with a genuine.
You can talk yourself out of a sale.
True.
By talking too long.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to have a short conversation.
Exactly. Yeah. So what keeps you motivated then? In general, I guess.
I really believe. And I love creating experiences in the end. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I believe a good sales pitch is a bit like creating an experience for people that I hope they enjoy. Yeah. And that's what I want to do. And I really believe it goes back to the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile slogan. Number one was spreading smiles across miles.
Okay.
And that if we're not both smiling and enjoying ourselves, why are we even talking about it?
Yeah.
We should both be excited.
Awesome. Yeah. So actually, the reason I have always been good at sales, or I'm not going to toot my own horn, but the reason I enjoy sales is the impactfulness. That's why I'm old school. That's why I still go to door to door instead of a phone call or, email campaign, because I do want to make that impact. I want to create that experience where the person's going to, whether it's a gatekeeper or I go to HR right away or I go to the decision maker right away, it's an impact of somehow for them to remember me, whether it's good or, well, hopefully it's a good thing, experience rather they do. But as a salesman, if I'm knocking on the door, they might think it's a bad experience, but being genuine and being there just to genuinely help, it's all the impactfulness that I think I need. So Tell me about a little bit more of your sales team. What's some coaching? What's something that you...
Well, I found that everyone is motivated differently, right? Some people are motivated because they want to reinvent themselves. Some people are motivated for money.
Yep.
Some people are motivated for opportunity. And it's really about digging down into what people want to hear. Now, I myself am a very direct boss. Sometimes abrasive, I'm sure, but in my honesty with them about what we're looking to do and about being on the same path, because I call it managing expectations for them. Okay. That's probably the number one thing I really try to do with my salespeople when I mentor them is let's manage our expectations together about what the goal is and then be very clear with the KPIs. And I try to, I have a Monday morning call with them, for 30 minutes to an hour to go over what's the goals this week, what are you working on, what successes have you seen? Can we share the success with everybody else? You all are doing the same job, realistically, just in different spots. How can you share that information? And then I try to call them individually for 15 to 30 minutes, at least once or twice throughout the week, just to talk to them. Yeah. A lot of younger people, they want that personal one-on-one time, and they want a time to shine.
Yeah.
They want that, and I want to support that, so they know they're valued.
Okay, awesome. And then obviously you have a young team, so I guess the new age is AI.
Yes.
So how have you incorporated a little bit of AI into?
I've started incorporating AI for a lot of their graphics ask. They want to have a graphic made for a convenience store or bar. That's the fastest way now is to put in an AI prompt and whip up a graphic and throw in a logo to get the project done. Two, I really love the AI note takers. Big fan of like Firefly that integrates to Google video and things like that, because that way I can keep track of everything that's going on. And then also we do sometimes do what I call phone pitches to our clients that are far out there, that are still in their territory, that are great clients when we have deals going on. And I put together an AI written speech script for them because some of them are not familiar with that phone call pitch like I am. They're only used to one-on-one. And it's a great way to give them a base script that they can then prompt themselves off of to come up with a better answer.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your journey, in sales. Like, how did you find out, hey, this is kind of like the passion, something I want to do? Yeah. Nobody really says like, oh, let me go and sell something.
Yeah. I really got into it, I guess, because I was incentivized in the beginning by money, right? I was doing business to business sales for newspaper sales, for ads, for a Greek life newspaper, which was a lot of fun. Yeah. What really excited me though when I was doing that job were bonuses, for quick wins. And I instituted a lot of quick wins with my own team. I have bi-weekly and monthly competitions, that sort of thing, because it's game theory, right? I have to gamify things now with the younger generation. They want those quick wins like in video games. And then after that, I went into more business to consumer with door-to-door sales, right? And then telemarketing. And I just really enjoyed some of those interactions because you're helping people, Now I really enjoy going back to my roots is some of my more business to consumer sales with convenience stores and liquor stores, because the majority of them are family owned, right? So if I can help a family run their small business better with a product that's a better fit for them and their demographic, then they're going to make more money. Yeah, right. Awesome. And I enjoy that. Because I go in there with a consulting mindset. That's what I tell people. As a salesperson, specifically in the alcohol space, I need to be educated about all products. So I can tell you what whiskeys will sell the best, what tequilas will sell the best, what vodkas will sell the best. What are trends in the market right now? I can tell you that a margarita is drank all year long. Yep. It really is, and tequila is number one seller. And where you should probably place the stuff that people are going to buy no matter what at the back of the store, like Target. You should put your tequila at the back of the store or your beer at the back of the store because people are going to buy that no matter what. Then make sure they have to walk past all the other stuff they might not get first. Sure, yeah.
Interesting. Awesome. So obviously you're very knowledgeable. Tell me a little bit are you self-taught, or did you read technique? Yeah. Did you get coached?
Yeah. So I love books like by O.G. Mandino, the greatest salesman in the world. I read The Alchemist every year. Some are more inspirational than others. Others are Getting to the Yes. Even read one or two books by life insurance salesmen.
Okay.
And a lot of those books, they sell different types of ways of selling. Really, I practice or try to practice a consultative type of sales, because I believe that if you rely too much on the personality style of sales, you're not going to be able to hit everybody. Yeah. Right? You're not solving all the base issue. I have absolutely had some great mentors out there that are older than me. One of them, his name, Tom McGuire, lives in New York, and his best buddy, Danny Saltzman, have been great sales mentors to talk to me about how to approach people. And then even in my own organization, there are people that are older than me that I'm at the same position with, and I ask them after we come out of a pitch, how do you think I did? What could have been improved? We got the deal, and they agreed. Was it done the way it should have been done? Just because a deal is a deal doesn't mean could it have been improved better.
Yeah, awesome. And then who do you look up to? Like, who do you?
Yeah, I really do love Gary Vee. Yeah. He is my favorite personality for that sort of thing, and I believe it. And I like him because he's positive.
And straight shooter too.
Yes.
Doesn't BS.
Yes, there's no BS. There's no snake oil skin that he's selling. There's no multi-level marketing schemes. He is straight up hustling, and his root is coming from the alcohol industry because his family owned a wine store growing up, and he really came from selling wine online originally and having a wine YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. What impact on technology, if any? Has that make it easier for?
Absolutely. I mean, TikTok and Instagram are fantastic uses for stores, and they get ideas from other stores because of that. And, TikTok influencers and Instagram influencers are fantastic for growing your brand and just brand awareness in general. You're not always going to get conversion from them, but you're staying top of mind because a consumer needs to see something 8 times to really believe in it. Even at a bar. Think about how many times, man, if you go to a bar, you see the name of the brand on the menu. Yeah. You see the name of the brand on a table tent. Yeah. Then you see the name of the brand on the chalkboard. Then you see the name of the brand on a coaster. Yeah. Then you see the name of a brand on a 10-sign or LED. Yeah. That's like 7 or 8 times. Yeah. That's how many times you need to see something on the glass of the bottle. That's how many times you need to see something to really recognize it, buy it, respect it.
Okay, awesome. So what about comparison on sales techniques, like with your within your team?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I have, for example, a young gentleman who had a stutter originally and was a little bit nervous. Very, very great work ethic. I mean, he is a workhorse, right? So I started working with him and I started coaching with him, and I said, Nick, I think you need to shorten your pitch. And that really helped him go to the next level because he realized by shortening his pitch, he could then get to the point of asking for their business and then go into maybe a little bit of a stare off with them. And whoever breaks the silence first will lose, and they'll get the sale, right? Yep. And he really took to that constructive criticism, and he's thriving. Awesome. Very, very proud of his development.
That's great.
But he was a sponge. I'm looking for people that are coachable. I look for a lot of qualities that your parents taught you, right? Your mom. You talk about your mom a lot. Your mom taught you a lot of stuff, and sometimes you don't realize those things till you get older. That sort of things. I'm really looking for character because you can teach scale. You can try to teach sales to a lot of people, but they need to have some base level of knowledge of personality. And then there's some people whose personality, I tell them, hey, you have a lot of swagger and you're doing really well, but sometimes when you're young, you want to go for a home run every single time. You cannot hit a home run every single time. You need to aim for singles and doubles or triples. You need to build a relationship. Then you'll get a home run with that person, maybe 2 or 3 months down the line.
Awesome. What about any challenges, within, obviously it's election year, inflation.
The worse and crazier things are, the more people drink. Right? Absolutely. Like COVID. Yeah, yes. I hate to say it, but the more wild stuff that happens, people are like, I got to have a drink. And that's where we step in.
That's awesome. We had a bad day. Let me get a drink.
Have a drink.
Had a good day. Let's have a drink. Okay, awesome.
Absolutely. I have noticed a little bit sometimes when I look at shopper carts, people are buying different things. People are what I call sometimes they're finding a similar premium product but at a lower price. So people are a little bit more price sensitive to certain things. But if they're a loyal customer to that segment overall, they're not going to leave that segment. If you drink beer, you're not going to stop drinking beer. You're just going to find a similar premium but beer. Kind of like how Modelo and Corona are the same company. You're just going to downstep from Modelo to Corona, but we all love Modelo. In the end.
I like Corona better.
It depends, right? But that's kind of how it works for people.
Yeah. Remember COVID? They were doing alcohol to go, little bags here in Austin.
Yeah. Chili's and Applebee's were killing it on their bags of margarita business, and it was very successful. Very successful people, especially people with families. With the fajitas to go and things like that. We're doing a Friday welcome fiesta for our upcoming wedding 2 weeks from now, and we're gonna do Chewy's. As well ourselves. That's one of the reasons why my fiance and I, moved. I always loved Tex-Mex in Austin, and she's from San Diego, so she's very big more on like mariscos and things like that. So it's kind of funny. More big seafood coming from San Diego.
Yeah, I used to live in Wisconsin, and we, oddly enough, and I haven't tried any better fish tacos. They were beer batter fish tacos with a little kick on it. And I moved with a girl at the time to Austin, my ex, and she said, before we left, we're like, hey, let's go to the Blue Heron Brew Pub and have those fish tacos on a Friday before we leave. And she's like, Manny, we're moving to Austin. We're going to have so much option and so many good fish tacos. Yeah. And then we're like, I had
same ones. Yeah. They do cod there really well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good spot. So, yeah. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about ethic and integrity. Yeah. So one of the things that you talked about is like, well-minded people. Obviously we share friendship, but I think we also share our friendship based on the core values. My best friends like Amner and Kenji, who we work together, when we met, we were completely the opposite. Yeah. I don't know, still to this day, I don't know how we ever became friends. But over the superficial part of it, we had the same core values, family values, all the good stuff. So can you touch a little bit about that on your team, especially when it comes to sales and coaching? Because that's a little, the ethics and integrity is.
I really push the honesty and following up with what you say you're going to do. In the past, I find that gives all salespeople a bad rep, no matter what industry you are, is that your client meets a bad salesperson and it ruins it for everybody else. Yeah. That's just the number one thing I really stress with people. And then, I really stress also with them about what do you want? What are your values that you find? Values that we both value. We both value family, both value working hard and playing hard. Mm-hmm. That's why we bond over stuff, right? Yep. I ask everyone the same question. What do you like to do as your value? Why are you in this job? What's your 5-year goal? Mm-hmm. By doing this job, are you going to reach that goal? And so that's why I really try to stress with them as their values, because I tell them, I bring on mentors every other Monday to a call from different levels of our business, and I'll bring on 2 different people who work in the same position, different parts of the country, completely different attitudes towards work and life.
Awesome.
But they're doing the same job.
Yep. Now, and then what about some challenges, within your team,
Challenges I see, it can depend on the generation, generational gap between, I guess I call it Gen Z or young millennial. Mm-hmm. There are people who want to go the extra mile and people who do not necessarily want to go the extra mile. And some people's vision of excellence or view of excellence is different than my view of excellence. Yeah, okay. Those are the things I see.
Awesome. And then what about any predictions that you see? This year is almost over.
Predictions for 2025 in alcohol. I think premium rum will do really well. There's a great company called Coconut Cartel that's making really fantastic premium rum. They just came out with a rum-based nectar for coffee, syrup, which I really like. Coconuts are doing really well. I see tequila still rising. Okay. I see less celebrity tequilas as well. But I also see us showing more attention to the Latino demographic in America in 2025. Okay. That's a big consumer that's still growing with a lot of purchasing power that's very loyal. It's very loyal. And I see the rise of more Latino artists like Forza and Bad Bunny in America with K-pop as well, as being another one that's really impacting it. We're seeing a lot of, in CPG right now, we're seeing a lot of Asian products really thrive, like Sanzo or Chili Crisp, Fly by Jing, and I think those are really going to take off too.
Okay, awesome, yeah. Us Latinos, we love to drink, so yeah.
You know.
What about any challenges right now with the election year or anything like that?
You know, I see a little bit. I believe tariffs will be a big topic of conversation in 2025. Tariffs will impact our industry, especially importers and exporters. You know, it will impact businesses like, champagne.
Okay.
You know, because that will be impacted by their tax dollars, bottom line. People that import alcohol, whether it be from Mexico, Canada, Europe, or Asia, will definitely be impacted as well.
Okay.
And that's something we need to look out for, is that we will see some price increases because of that.
Okay, interesting. And then what are some tips that you can give? It's not your team, but maybe somebody coming into sales to something, or somebody who wants to become an entrepreneur. Okay. What are some life tips?
Focus on the long game. Success is not overnight. Tito's was not an overnight success. Took a decade plus. Mm-hmm. Businesses are grown over 5 to 15 years. Yeah. Same our careers. And it can only take 1 year for it to collapse, but it took 5 to 10, 15 years to grow. And I think a lot of young people and salespeople coming into the industry need to realize that, and realize there are older people out there that can help them, and that there are some older people out there that have been in the same position their whole life and just kind of stopped, growing. And that as a salesperson, you have to continually grow. Yeah.
And one thing would be also, what I believe, to keep in mind is adaptability. So, with that, look at Netflix, they used to ship DVDs, and now they adapted to a streaming network. What's something that you would, that in sales you would say that you need to adapt for?
The number one thing I see right now is people not adapting just with technology in general. Okay. I think a lot of people stop learning and don't realize how fast technology changes. Mm-hmm. In my business, for example, people used to put in orders on a payphone with a roll of quarters. Yeah. Now you can put it in on an iPad. Right? Yeah. And a lot of people aren't changing fast enough. I would tell people they need to continue to learn new software systems in sales, whether that's HubSpot, Google AdWord, understanding a marketing vertical and sales vertical, that's part of that. Coming up with new ways to educate your customers as a salesperson. For example, I used to do a weekly newsletter to all my sales distributor reps, so they knew what I was doing in growth and how I was growing our business together. I do a call, where's John? Like, where's Waldo? Right? I had to teach myself how to use MailChimp.
Oh, okay.
As a tool. Mm-hmm. And it was great as a way to remind them of what we were doing. So I would tell a lot of young salespeople that think about ways to increase your brand awareness, your personal brand awareness, your company's brand awareness, and it will help you sell more genuinely.
Interesting. Yeah, I actually used to use HubSpot, and we used MailChimp
Love
as well.
HubSpot and MailChimp. Great services.
Okay. Yeah. Any other software you think?
The other thing I really like to tell people is that you can do a lot on Google. You can do a lot with the Google Mail. You don't have to pay to have your own fancy software email service. Okay. You can do a lot on the Gmail platform. You don't need necessarily Microsoft Outlook. Gmail offers a lot of free services that you should use to really skinny down your business.
Okay, awesome. So obviously you're well driven and motivated. What's next for John? What's your next
I think
plan?
my fiance wants to start her own business, and I really am passionate that she's going to do that, and I'm going to step beside her, and I'm really hopeful about that. I want to be next to her as she embarks on that journey, and I'd really like to move more into a strategic advisory role for things in the alcohol space, because I've now seen and helped and grow some very popular businesses, and other people have seen that and mentioned it to me, and I think that's the direction I want to go in.
Okay, interesting. So you're about to get married, right?
Yeah,
so,
2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Congrats.
very excited.
Yeah. How long have you guys been together?
4 years now. Okay. We moved separately to Austin. We met. We have a house together. We have a fur baby, a mini golden doodle named Brewski. Yeah. And just really excited for the future of that.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think family and core values is very important, to keep ourselves motivated.
Absolutely.
I've been taking care of my mom since I was 12 years old. I've been working since I was 12 years old. You know, so you have to, shake in those bad days and stay positive and stay motivated. Any introspective books that you like for like motivation? I don't like, and sorry to cut you off, I don't like books that tell you what to do, because I think we already know it. We just choose not to do it, Yeah. So the introspective books that I like, it's like Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist. He most of his books. One of my favorite ones, The Devil and Miss Prim.
Okay.
By him. And the introspective is, it's calling for you to check yourself.
Yeah. The books I have read that I've really liked have been more books about finding happiness through therapy or meditation.
Okay.
There's a 10-minute meditation book, and it was by a news anchor that had a anxiety collapse on screen, and he really had to delve deep into why, and it's because he was a wartime reporter and had PTSD from that, and then went to drug addiction, and then realized he kept searching for that high, and he went into meditation as a way to center himself. Also, just going into more introspection books about, really therapy. Are we doing an away motion or towards our core values that make us happy? That sort of thing. And then also books that really have spoken to me are really books about people's life stories, about where they got to where they are. There's some really great ones. Hemingway has some great books that talk about it as well. But really, mostly like the sort of books by Gary Vee, where he talks about his life, or even a fantastic one that's kind of insane is the Wolf of Wall Street book.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Really, as he talks about that and things like that. It's really interesting to get into people's minds about what their values are and things like that.
Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming in. How can people get a hold of you? Do you have?
Reach out on my LinkedIn under John Stevens Craft. Easy to find me on there. I also have a website, www.johncraft.net, as well. And that's the best ways to reach out to me. I have all my information that talk about my services.
Awesome. And then you said your ideal customer would be more into the fest, right? So
my ideal customer is one that wants to grow your business together.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And we're in the right city for
Absolutely.
it. So, hey, man, thanks. Appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely.
Love it. Nice seeing you, man.
Nice seeing you as well.
Take care, guys.